Oh, come on, pretty mama, let your long hair down. Get in and let her carry you. Get yourself downtown. Put on your red shoes, woman.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Drew Ashworth on the show today, and he is a music artist, singer-songwriter. You have a band, and we're going to talk about what you have going on. I met your wife on a film set, and you guys actually book artists, and you're beginning to manage music artists.
Yeah. My wife and I am very blessed to be a part of that union. She's definitely the brains of the operation. My wonderful wife Angela and I, we run a company called Crest Point Entertainment Group, and Crest Point Entertainment Group is a small local base. We're based right here in Metro Atlanta. We work with about 40 or 50, maybe 60 different venues all over the Southeast, and we book singer-songwriters, bands, and other acts as entertainment.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Here recently we got into doing live event production, and then we also run some open mic nights to try and discover new talent. Mm-hmm. And we also, for a select few, we're offering some management services. So dipping our feet in that as well.
Awesome. It's a good path to take. It's needed. So let's talk about your career and where you're at in your career. I actually got to hear your love story. Your wife shared with me how you met and all that great stuff. So I feel like I know a little bit about you. You are actually in a full band. So right. When you guys play, you don't play acoustic like you played here.
All the songs that I write will come out first on the acoustic guitar. If you can think of the acoustic guitar as like a sketch pad,
right?
And then those ideas are sketched out on an acoustic instrument because it's easy to take around. Don't need any gear. We just break it out of the case and play it, and there it is. And it's an instrument that I'm most comfortable on.
Okay.
So that style of guitar. But then once the ideas are sort of fleshed out, we're looking for different tones, and some of those are just not accessible or achievable with the acoustic. So of course we bring in the electrified instruments and all the goodie boxes that we can.
Now, what's the name of your band?
We perform under my name, so it's just Drew Ashworth.
Okay,
band.
so you manage the band also.
Yes, yeah. I run the band. I have some very talented musicians that play with me, some of the best in the area. And but when you work with the best musicians, a lot of times these guys are very, very busy because they're in demand, and they don't just play with me like most people would consider a band as like several members and they always stay the same. And it's not necessarily the case. For my performances, I'll hire some guys. I like to think of it as a football team.
I like this.
So I have a first string and a second string and a third string on every voice or every instrument. And then the first string guys, the guys have been playing with me the longest. We have the best chemistry as far as playing. And those guys always get the first call. But when they're busy doing other things, family's very important. Obviously, I won't tell a guy he's got to spend his kid's birthday with me,
right,
playing in a smoky bar somewhere. so that's always been very important to me. And so if somebody's got another commitment or something, I'll just go to the second string guy, down until we find somebody that'll do it. And most of the time it's the same set pieces, but I do like to bring in other musicians who I know for certain songs or for certain sets or something.
Yeah, well, it's networking too. You're getting to play with different people and learn different people, and that sounds interesting.
I have so many friends that are very, very talented musicians that are in the area, and to give them a chance to showcase their talents is really what I'm about, both professionally and personally.
Love it. So at this point in your career, you're full-time music, and then with you and your wife's adventures.
We're full-time I'm full-time in the entertainment industry. So I perform 150 to 200 times a year, either as a solo act or with my band for certain events. And then it's very important in the music industry nowadays to become diversified. Mm-hmm. So that's where the Crest Point Entertainment Group comes in, and we do event promotion and bookings and talent management, and then also the event productions. But yeah, I do that. We've even talked about maybe opening up a little sound studio.
That's
do
awesome.
some stuff. So thought about that, but it's very important to stay diversified. The most successful people that I know in the music industry are not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
You know, they have a photography business, or they play in a wedding band, or they play they do something else.
Right.
And not just writing songs and trying to perform, because I think anybody who probably watches the show knows that if you're just banking on performing, it's
a tough life.
It's a tough life.
It's a tough life.
Yeah. I once saw 4 musicians in the parking lot sharing one cigarette.
That's the life. Yeah. What do you do when you get sick?
Okay. There was a long period of time, Kelly, where I didn't have health insurance. A long period of time, just because it was not affordable, and it was just not something that when I was 25 years old, I was thinking that I really needed. But now that I'm a parent and we have family obligations, obviously, kids are expensive.
Yes.
So we have to have insurance now. But when you get sick, that's the great part about using a talent buyer. Is that instead of calling up a venue and saying, "Hey, I'm sick, I'm sorry, I can't make it," my manager and the talent buyer get together and say, "Okay, well, Drew is sick. Who else can we throw in there?" And they cover that for me. And so it becomes any type of problem like that. A musician's sick, or they have car trouble, or emergencies. They do happen. And when the companies or when restaurants and venues partner with us to provide their entertainment, we kind of absorb that heat and take care of that for them.
Right.
So, but to answer your question, what happens when I'm sick? I play anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless I'm fevered, can't stand up.
Yeah.
Or broken a bone or something, the show must go on. And so if you're feeling a little sick, especially here, if you're feeling a little under the weather and you're a singer, if you've been around long enough, you've got your own concoction as to how to make it through a show set, and I have my own.
Yeah. You know what? I think that we recover so fast, though, because we can't get sick.
Can't get sick.
Yeah, like there were so many times in my life where I was going through, just back-to-back shows, and I was like, I can't get sick, and I rarely ever got sick.
Yeah, and then
I couldn't afford to.
There's some health food remedies that you can find at your local GNC or your health food store that can actually boost your immune system and get you through those long winter tours where you're playing consecutively in cold temperatures, breathing in wet air. I use a lot of Emergency. But then I also during the cold and flu season, I'll take a dietary supplement called Silverdine solution.
Okay.
And you take about a teaspoon of it, and it's tasteless. You can just drop it in your coffee, and it prevents you from being sick.
There you go, artist, home remedy.
It works.
Where do people find you? Where do they find your music?
Right now, you can find it all the time. You can always find it at drewashworth.com. Also at my social media tags for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. It's all Drew Ashworth Music. So if you put that in any of your search bars in YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you can find me that way. And
what are some areas that you play?
We play a lot here in West Georgia, but really all over Atlanta. If you want to know when I'm coming to your town next, just check the events tab on my Facebook page. And you can access that from drewashworth.com, or just go to facebook.com/Drew Ashworth Music. And hopefully soon we'll have a nice big tour planned for the release of the record. And we're super excited about that. Cool.
I'm really excited for you. This is for you to remind you that you're a gift in life and keep giving. I think art is something that, I know is something that it keeps us moving and it keeps us alive. And those that live in the art, it's a life that nobody can really, you can't explain it. It's just, it becomes who you are. What is some advice you would give to somebody maybe wanting to get a band together and wanting to get out there?
If you're like me and you have music inside you and you have a message that you want to convey to the world and you want to do that through music, the best thing that you can do is play anywhere and everywhere that they'll let you, and spend a lot of time on developing your craft and your skill on your instruments. Surround yourself with people who are better than you. Get a team of individuals, because it always takes a team.
Yes.
You can't do it on your own. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you can. Get a team of people around you that have your best interest at heart. And then focus on the things that you can control. As a new artist, it's going to be a whole lot easier and a lot productive for you to focus on building your following on your social media pages, YouTube pages. These things don't pay out in dividends right off the rip, but the best way to get somebody to pay attention to you, if you don't happen to live in Los Angeles, New York, or Nashville, is to make a ruckus in your hometown and make a big ripple. And you do that by utilizing the tools that are at your fingertips, which is your smartphone, your computer, YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram page. Create content, become a brand. And once you've done that on a small scale, it will be impossible for the big guys to ignore you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And talking about that, like, you don't see the compensation, immediately, but I always say that there's like, there's money floating out there, It's like you're creating it, not even knowing really that you're creating it by the brand and all that stuff. And then eventually you can pull it down.
Right. The music business, and by and large, and I hate to put it in such simplified terms because it's not quite this simple, but in layman's terms, the music business is sort of like the show Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. And the people on the investors on Shark Tank, it's not enough to have a great idea. It's not enough to have a whole lot of experience doing what you're doing. What they're looking for is something that is scalable, and so that's why I say make yourself a big fish in a small pond, and establish yourself and your brand in your hometown. Don't just say, "Hey, I'm a great singer. Everybody at karaoke bar thinks I'm great. I'm moving to Nashville." Mm-hmm. You don't have to do that. You can do that. I've known several people that have done it and have had varying degrees of success. Some really great people like Zach Brown, and some other people who you've never heard of, probably never will. But if you want, you don't have to take that route. It's very risky. You can stay at home, build your brand here, and then you're a force to be reckoned with. And then,
I have a friend, and I used to tell her, we did stand-up comedy for a little while, one of the things that I did in my life. But anyway, she kept saying, we had this little company that was stand-up comedy company, and she kept saying, you're thinking too small. We're going to fill up the arena. We're going to fill up the arena. And I was like, how are we going to fill up the arena when we can't fill up the pub? We got to fill up the pub first. And it's the same thing. Like, I kept seeing this dot, and I kept seeing, if I can hit here, I'll be able to move out. And it's the same thing that I've done with my acting studio. And you're always branching out and circling bigger and bigger. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Guys, we hope that this segment educated and inspired you.